What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics? Guys, thanks for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily 76ers discourse, discussion, and information. All the likers, all the commenters, all the watchers, you guys are all that matters. This channel is for the people, brought to you by a few people for the craziest and the best Sixer fans on the planet. I want to talk about what the most pressing news is for today. Joel Embiid, guys. Joel Embiid just got cleared to play in the preseason finale, which means if Joel is cleared on a Friday, we have no concerns, no qualms, and no questions if Joel Embiid is going to be cleared for Wednesday's matchup against the Boston Celtics and Jaylen Brown. Joel Embiid is not only ahead of schedule, he also made it very clear that he was not going to rush back and play before he feels healthy and before his body could handle the impact of an 82-game season. Apparently, as of right now, Joel feels good, Joel looks great, and hopefully he's going to be as dominant as Joel Embiid is supposed to be. How important is this preseason final? Guys, this is the most important game of the entire offseason. This is the most important game tape we're going to receive this entire offseason, because Nick Nurse went out to say that the players that play in this game, the rotations you see in this game, are going to be the same players and the same rotations you can expect to see all season long as of right now. Of course, there's no Paul George, there's no Jared McCain, and truthfully, there's no Trendon Wofford. So these rotations could obviously mix and match and change a little bit, tweak a little bit, but the minutes and the talent and the skill positions, guys, these are the same players who are going to be playing throughout this entire regular season, hopefully into the playoffs, if this team is so lucky to make it. Because you got Joel, you got Maxey, you got Grimes, you got VJ, you got Kelly. And those are the players I expect to be in the starting lineup. Now, expect Nick Nurse to throw a wrench at the fans and change his mind right away, because Dominic Barlow could potentially be the power forward, not of the future, but of the right now. You could have a Joel Embiid, a Dominic Barlow, a Kelly Oubre, a VJ Edgecombe, and a Tyrese Maxey starting lineup, because not only with that lineup have everything that Nick Nurse loves, attackers at the rim with the VJ Edgecombe, Kelly Oubre, fast break potential with Maxey, Oubre, Edgecombe. It also now has a glass cleaner and a reliable, selfless defender in Dominic Barlow. Dominic Barlow, who was just cut from his previous team, I'm assuming would do anything and everything to make it onto this team, where he has a real opportunity to become a standard household name in Philadelphia. Dominic Barlow is probably going to be guarding any and every player. He's definitely going to be trying to grab any and every rebound. And most importantly, if Dominic Barlow can knock down some three-point shots, it's almost a guarantee, Charles Barkley, guaranteed that you can expect some Dominic Barlow minutes in the regular season. I'm talking about big minutes, 20 minutes per game, 25 to maybe even 30, if he becomes a reliable knockdown corner three-point shooter. My only problem with this preseason finale, you're not really sure what players play well with Joel. Meaning, the system that was put in place prior to this season was a Joel Embiid dominant, focused, heavy offensive system. Most of the time, you'd pass Joel the ball in the mid-range, in the high post, sometimes even at the top of the key. You'd let him work, and you'd watch everything else work around him. Now that Nick Nurse is having more of a free flow ball movement system, you really got to wonder how Joel Embiid is going to handle that. Because this is the first time since, I guess, the Doc River years, where an offensive scheme and an offensive system isn't revolving around Joel Embiid's offensive talent. Nick Nurse went out to say that he's one of the best shooters this team has, probably one of the best three-point shooters this team has, and if you know Joel Embiid, he's one of the best players in the league. Just because you have him doesn't mean you have to use him and abuse him. Joel could be playing extremely well, not only into the start of this season, but from my belief, guys, Joel Embiid and the expectations for Joel Embiid this game right here is really just to show the cardio, just to show his ability to get up and down the court. Because the biggest thing that you saw last season was Joel Embiid struggling to run up and down the court. Most of the time, guys, on the offensive end, he would stop at the three-point line just because getting back on the defensive end was too strenuous on the body. If Joel Embiid not only has the speed, has the cardio, and has the endurance, not only to run rim to rim, but to potentially find himself in those dunker spots, find himself in those paints, and get easier points than mid-range jump shots, pick and rolls with Tyrese Maxey. You want to see not only Nick Nurse, but you want to see the team, Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes, the players that play with Joel, set him up well because he's been working extremely hard. Matter of fact, too hard to get his buckets, to get his points, and to be a reliable player for the squad. So my expectations for Joel for this game, specifically for this game, I don't want 20 points in this preseason game, guys. I want Joel to fit in and show me how these players fit around him. Because you know what Joel is going to bring. You know who Joel is going to be, and you know how talented offensively he is. But what you don't know is how well these players fit around a brand new system and a brand new scheme around an MVP. My expectations tonight, about 20 minutes. I'd love to see Joel play a consistent, heavy first half, maybe a little third quarter, maybe even 17 minutes. 17 minutes, 20 minutes in this first half. I'd love to see Joel play because you're not necessarily looking for him to play into the third quarter, fourth quarter. You don't want to see that. What you do want to see is how his body hangs up with the physicality of live play and how he feels getting up and down the court. Because in practice, you can pick your spots. And in practice, you can give up open shots. But in a game, you want to see Joel not only be a consummate defender, not only protect the rim, but most importantly, feel comfortable, feel healthy, and be confident that his body's going to hold up and be able to hang with his teammates and the rest of the NBA. My expectations today is a lot of cardio, a lot of rim running, and hopefully some very precise pinpoint passing. Because if Joel Embiid takes a step as a passer, this team is going to take a few huge steps in the standings. Because offensively, he can't be stopped. It's all about him finding other players open shots. And speaking of open shots, guys, who is this game most important to? Well, anybody who's going to get open shots tonight better knock them down and make them count. And I'm talking about Justin Edwards. This game is extremely important to Justin Edwards, who's had a very tough summer league, a very tragic preseason, and just a very bad offseason altogether. Outside the contract that Justin Edwards signs, everything else has been pretty bad news for him. So you're looking for not only Justin Edwards to make the most out of this game, to potentially shore up that backup four position in the case of Kelly Oubre's injury, in the case of Paul George's shortcomings. You'd want somebody to step up. Next man up mentality. I think the next guy whose name you'd be calling would be Justin Edwards. Would love to see him potentially play extremely well because now you have Joel. So you should be getting a lot more space. You should be getting a lot more open shots, and you should be not working as hard to play your game because you do have an MVP who's obviously going to command a lot of double teams. Other players who this game is the most important to because this is the last game of the preseason. So this is your chance to give the coach, Nick Nurse, a few reasons why you are supposed to be playing and why you need to be a part of this team's rotation. Guys, Andre Drummond and Adem Bona are in a very heated battle for that backup center position. And I was an Adem Bona fan and a stan. But now that Joel is going to be on the court playing in today's game, I expect Adem Bona and Joel Embiid to be showing those double big lineups and to show how successful those two players can be on the court together. Adem Bona, this is not only his chance to guarantee himself that backup center position, but also ensure that he has a few opportunities to play with Joel Embiid this season on the court together. Defensively, that sounds phenomenal. Offensively, that sounds concerning. So this is Adem Bona's chance and Adem Bona's time to not only shore up that backup big possession, but also shore up his chances of being Joel Embiid's running mate for those twin tower lineups. Potentially Andre Drummond could be the double big for Joel Embiid. I don't love it because of the high pick and roll, because of the pick and roll, and because of the drop coverage. Both of those bigs play. I don't want to see Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid on the court at the same time. But if Andre Drummond is knocking down the three-point shot, if Andre Drummond has a good three-point shot the way he's had all off season, there's no reason why not to put two good floor spacers, two good three-point shooters, and two pretty decent rebounders. One great rebounder in Andre Drummond and a really good rebounder in Joel Embiid for those double big lineups. And last but not least, guys, this game is extremely important. Extremely important to Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse needs this game not only to go well, but he needs these players to play well so he doesn't have to make last-minute adjustments, so he doesn't have to go to Daryl Morey asking for new signees. Because the power forward position and the small forward position is the position at question, guys. With Paul George out, and you're not even sure what Paul George is going to return, Kelly Oubre is not a good three-point shooter. Justin Edwards doesn't seem to be too great at anything on an NBA level as of right now. And this is just based off of this summer. Of course, playing with great players makes good players look better. That's a fact. So I expect Justin Edwards to get back to the way he was last season. But that forward position, guys, you really don't have any true floor spacers there, especially if Trendon Watford isn't knocking down a three-point shot the way we expect him to and want him to. So guys like Bobo could potentially be called on and called upon to be signing with this squad. Guys like Bobo could bring true floor spacing, the size this team needs, and if Bobo is picking up weight, that would be great because you need a good rebounder at 7'4" to make sure you are getting all offensive and defensive chances and offensive second chances. This game is most important to Edwards, to those backup centers, and to Nick Nurse to see what he has at his disposal before the season starts, guys. This is going to be a great game. And I've been loving what you guys have been leaving behind. The comments have been hilarious. They have been attention-grabbing, and they have got to be talked about, guys. So like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We're not going to leave any comment behind, guys. After this preseason finale, we're going to address everything that you guys did say. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We appreciate all the commenters, all the watchers, all the likers, and you got to love what Joel is going to be bringing to this preseason finale. Appreciate you guys. We got more coming up in store. Like, comment, and subscribe because the next episode, guys, is an episode for the people, brought to you by a few people on the channel, Sixers Daily, for our crazy Sixer fans. Thank you, guys.